How you guys doing again? T-Dog here. This is part 2 of my Swiss Arms TAC-1 break barrel rifle. And first thing I want to say is I'm not advertising this rifle as a self-defense rifle. I'm advertising it as a alternative means to hunt small game during a survival situation, homestead situation, whatever you want to call it. So I've already got a couple comments. Well, of course, this is not going to measure up to a 22, but it's just an idea for have something laying around in case you needed it to obtain food. Anyway, so I went ahead and did a little shooting test with this half-inch pine. I'm going to show you guys how this worked out, and hopefully my camera will be able to give you all the details. But here's the match grade ammo, and all of this ammunition is made by Gammo. So this is the one that has the real flat head on it. And this penetrated all the way through the board. I had to take it out of the backstop, but it mushroomed really, really well. It penetrated super well. You could see just by looking at it in the lid here, the difference between the two. There we go, that's better. Yeah, so I was pretty impressed by that. So that's the match grade. This is the target stuff. The next thing I want to move on to is the Magnum. Now, the Magnum actually didn't penetrate all the way through the board. I was really surprised. But as you can see, it's got that point on the end of it. Definitely designed for penetration, but didn't have when I dug it out of the board, it is totally 100%. It doesn't even look like it did originally. Like, it's just, you can see the size difference there. It's just totally destroyed. But it didn't go through the board, so I was really surprised. The next one is the Hunter. This one did go through the board. This is the one that has the rounded nose on the front and not the flat nose like the Match does. This one, not a lot of deformity. It pretty much just compressed itself, but it made it all the way through the board, which was cool. The last one I did was the Master Point. Now the Master Point not only made it through the board, but I had to dig it out of the backstop. And this is the one that it's kind of like the Magnum, only it comes to a finer point at the tip. I can see these ammunitions being great to use against small game for penetration. For shock value, I would go with the Hunter and the Match. There's a lot of power behind that to make it through this half-inch pine. This stuff is pretty dense. So if you guys follow the old Army statistics, ballistics on calibers of guns, they say that if anything can penetrate at a 1-inch pine at whatever yardage is considered have lethal capabilities according to the U.S. Army. Now, these are older statistics. You guys can go look them up if you want to. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying that's something to take note of. But as far as alternative rifle, I'm definitely going to keep this thing. That thing is, there's some definite power. Yes, it is a one-shot capacity, but at the same time, one-shot capacity means it's going to force you to be a better marksman. And I think that's a good thing. But anyway, so that's part 2. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And you can see these holes. They're clean holes, except that one. That one was it didn't go all the way through, and I just had to dig it. I couldn't recover it. This one, I actually took it out of the back, so it almost made it all the way through. But you can look at these holes. They're perfect. They're super perfect. Anyway, so that's my theory. That's my opinion on air rifles in that type of situation. And hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks again to all my subscribers. There's now 15 of you instead of 14, so I think that's pretty badass. I think that's pretty cool. Thanks for watching my stuff, and I'll talk to you guys later.